In the dimness of the tunnel, where shadows coil like sinister whispers and the air crackles with a malevolent energy, a tale unfolds that will test the boundaries of belief and plunge you into the depths of the unknown. Brace yourself for a journey beyond the veil of reality, where chilling encounters and heart-stopping revelations await. Join me as I navigate the chilling echoes of the past, weaving through haunted corridors and uncovering secrets that defy explanation. But beware, for in this world where darkness reigns, the line between the living and the dead blurs, and the truth may be more terrifying than you can imagine. Are you ready to confront the unseen and delve into the realm where fear reigns supreme? Welcome to Eerie Encounters and Hauntings. We are thrilled to have you join us for 2 new spine-tingling tales of the paranormal each week, stories that will make you shiver with fear and keep you on the edge of your seat. From haunted houses to possessed objects, we have the most bone-chilling tales of the supernatural. Get ready for a terrifying journey into the unknown with our bone-chilling episodes featuring blood-curdling stories that will send shivers down your spine. So hit that like button, share the horror with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. This story will make shiver and fright. This is entitled Haunting Shadows and the Secrets of the Other Side. This was shared by Grace. Let's get started. The tunnel was so dark that it looked like it swallowed our van whole, taking away the last bit of moonlight. A cold, damp feeling ran down my spine as an icy silence wrapped around us, thicker than any fog. As we went deeper, the air was filled with a scary energy, and whispers could be heard just outside of our hearing. The sound of my scream broke the silence and broke the fragile bubble of normality. Tears made it hard for me to see as fear gripped me tighter. "There's someone here!" I screamed and tried to scamper away amidst the thick darkness. The terror on my friends' faces was mirrored by panic. John, who seemed like the calm light in a storm, reached out, but his hand felt cold and strange instead of his comfort. It was then that I realized what was touching me. It wasn't John's touch, it was something else's cold grip that sent shivers down my spine. My scream echoed and mixed with my friends' frantic screams because the van was so small. The terrifyingly real invisible presence moved closer, suffocating everyone with its evil aura. The darkness in my vision swam and threatened to swallow me whole. Then, just as quickly as it started, the heavy veil came off. As soon as we came out of the tunnel, the sight of the familiar light calmed me down. We stumbled out, shaking but not hurt. The cool night air slapped me back to reality. I had tears running down my face as a wave of fear and relief hit me. My peers, who were scared but not hurt, tried to comfort me, but their looks showed that they were still feeling uneasy. Even John, who is generally calm, looked scared by what happened. Later, as we talked about what happened, a scary discovery came to light. My quiet friend Maya spoke up, and what she said made my worst fears come true. She had seen the thing too, but not as a white ghost. Instead, she saw it as a dark, nameless void, which was the same terrifying thing I saw. This proof, while confirming what I already knew, didn't make me feel better. The meeting left a mark that can't be erased, a steady reminder of the forces that lurk beyond the veil of reality. It was a sign of things to come, a taste of the amazing world that was about to emerge in front of me. But what scared people the most wasn't the scary ghost itself, but how familiar it looked. My grandma, who believed in ghosts and other supernatural things, talked about similar beings, spectral wanderers who were tied to places of trauma and despair. Because I was so interested, I looked into local legends and found rumors of disaster involving the tunnel we were walking through. A young woman who was sad and felt alone killed herself in the depths of it, and her sad spirit will always be connected to the place where she died. That thought sent chills down my spine. Was the thing I saw just a figment of my mind fueled by local legends, or did I really see the remains of a tortured soul? The question kept bothering me, pushing me to find solutions and figure out what my new power meant. This search took me down a rabbit hole into the unknown. Mystics and spiritualists tried to help me, but all they could do was give me vague hints and ideas that didn't make sense. Some people said it was dangerous to mess with things that couldn't be seen, but others saw it as a gift and a way to connect worlds. As my experiences got more intense, I carefully wrote down everything I could remember about them. It became a record of the amazing things that happened in my everyday life. Things like whispers in the dead of night, brief shadows in the corner of my eye, and things moving for no reason became normal. Even now, one scary event stands out. As I looked around an empty building on the edge of town, I felt a heavy sense of fear. There was more than just the sound of the floorboards creaking and the dancing dust motes in the moonlight. There was a strong sense of evil and being watched and judged. All of a sudden, a cold gust of wind slammed the door shut. The sound echoed through the huge room like a scream. The silence was broken by a horrifying wail that came from deep inside the building. I felt sick to my stomach and shed tears when I heard that sound. It was so sad I couldn't even describe it. Panic grabbed my throat and told me to run away. But there was something that kept me there, a strange interest that fought with my fear. The temperature dropped quickly as I carefully went deeper, and the air became thick and heavy. Then I saw her in the streaming moonlight coming in through a broken window. A woman who was covered in ghostly mist and whose shape was blurry and hard to make out. Her head was hung low, making it hard to see her face, but I could feel the raw pain coming from her. It was like a force that suffocated the air. A wave of compassion washed over me and took away my fear. When I tentatively put out my hand, the sharp cold that came from her made my touch feel warmer. As I moved my hand, the woman's head rose, showing empty spaces where eyes should have been. I let out a scream that chilled my bones, but it wasn't fear that I felt, it was overwhelming pity. At that time, I got it. It wasn't evilness that she gave off, it was sadness and a never-ending, suffocating despair. I had tears running down my face, just like the ones that were coming from her empty eyes. I felt like I knew her story and could feel the deep pain of her loss and the betrayal that sent her to this lonely place. I stayed with her for hours without saying a word, just being there with her. There was a link, a bridge between worlds, in that shared area. As the first light of dawn hit the sky, the woman's shape shimmered and faded, leaving a peaceful air behind. This event, along with many others, made me face the complexity of the world I couldn't see. It wasn't just about dark or scary things, it was also about knowing and recognizing the pain and unfinished feelings that stay with us after we die. The things I did not only opened my eyes to the world beyond, they also opened my heart. As a link between the living and the dead, I became a channel and a listener for those lost souls looking for comfort. It wasn't always simple. Seeing how much pain they were in made me want to give up, but the thanks I saw in their faded forms kept me going. Every story I read and every person I helped find peace became a part of my own journey. What used to be fear turned into a deep understanding and a duty to respect the stories of those who can't be seen. One day, as I walked around a busy market, I felt a familiar pull, like someone was trying to get my attention. It brought me to an old woman whose eyes were sad. I got tears in my eyes as I heard her story. It was a sad story about love and loss that was cut off too soon. Elena, the woman, talked about her grandson Daniel, a talented young artist who had been killed in a terrible way. His angry and restless spirit visited the street where he died. Elena begged me, and her voice was shaking, to help him find peace. The task seemed impossible, and Daniel's anger was almost too much to handle. But as I looked more closely, I saw that behind the anger was a glimpse of the passionate and dreamy young guy Elena had told me about. Using my skills, I got to know him and started telling him stories about how much his grandmother loved him and the goals she had for him. The anger slowly faded, and a spark of understanding took its place. He wasn't driven by anger, but by the things he hadn't finished in life, the art he couldn't make, and the love he couldn't say. I helped him finish his last piece of art, a mural full of bright colors and raw feeling, with Elena's help. Something calm came over him as he watched her look at it with tears in her eyes. He finally faded away with a smile of thanks, his soul finally at peace. The stories kept coming, and each one was different and left a permanent mark on my heart. From a soldier who was sad and looking for comfort to a child who got lost in an accident, I became a defender of their voices that had been forgotten and a weaver of stories from the other side. But there were some hard parts along the way. People often looked at my events with doubt, ridicule, and even fear. Still, the truth I held inside me burned brightly, fed by the many souls I had helped find peace. In one especially scary experience, a vengeful ghost was tied to an old mansion. Its anger was threatening to destroy not only the house but also the neighborhood around it. I felt the weight of duty pressing down on me, and the thought of what might happen scared me. Still, I kept going because I had a small chance of understanding the spirit's pain. It took me weeks to learn about the mansion's past, which led me to a story of betrayal and wrongdoing. Finally, I talked to the spirit, but not out of fear or anger. Instead, I did it with understanding and compassion. As I told them the sad truth about its past, the anger went away and was replaced with a sad understanding. The spirit finally found peace when its mission was done. It broke up into wisps of light that cleared the house of its ominous aura. This experience more than any other made my calling clear. It wasn't just about individual souls, it was about seeing how unsolved pain could hurt all living things. It's been years since my first meeting in the cave. As my skills have improved, I can now not only talk to the dead but also see bits and pieces of their past lives, putting together the stories that connect them to this world. It costs something to have this broader view. Sometimes I feel like I might drown in my feelings because of all the stories I've heard and the sounds of happiness and sadness. The laughing of children lost too soon, the cries of those hurt, and the whispers of unfulfilled dreams all reverberate in my mind, creating a cacophony of sounds that threaten to break my fragile being. But even though things are crazy, the relationships I make me feel better. Every person I help and story I figure out makes the link between our worlds stronger. Their thanks gives me strength, a gentle warmth amidst the overflowing feelings. One meeting stands out as being especially moving. Amelia, a young woman, stayed on Earth, tied to a beloved music box. During her lifetime, she was a great singer, but a cruel turn of events silenced her. Through her remains, I felt the happiness of her music, the comfort it gave others, and the heavy sadness that came after it ended so quickly. Because I felt sorry for her, I tried to grant her last wish. Using my skills, I helped a skilled musician write a piece that sounded like Amelia's lost masterpiece, even though she didn't know I was there. As the music filled the room, Amelia's ghostly form shimmered, and tears of happiness flowed from her empty eyes. Lastly, she let go of the earthly realm with a grateful smile. Her music will always be heard in the minds of people who are still alive. These moments, even though they are sad, remind me of my mission. I'm not just a channel, I'm also a storyteller. I tell stories about things that can't be seen to remember people that the line between worlds isn't as thick as they seem. But my job comes with a huge amount of obligation. As my skills increase, so does the chance that I will abuse them. Some people try to use the supernatural to get power or personal gain by controlling ghosts to further their own goals. As a guardian against such evil, I use what I know to keep both the living and the dead safe. Not only does this fight need bravery, but it also needs smarts. Not every ghost is a good ghost. Some people, who are filled with anger or hopelessness, hold on to negative, making the living world a worse place to be. Being kind isn't enough in these situations. I have to be careful with my powers and lead them to a quiet release, even if it means facing their anger. People who are easily scared should not walk the road I take. Being able to balance empathy with wisdom is important on this trip because you will be facing both the beauty and the darkness of the unseen world. But even though there are problems, I wouldn't trade this amazing life for anything. I hear more than just sadness and the whispers of the dead. I hear love, laughter, and lost dreams. In spite of life and death, these are the stories that really count because they remind us of how human we all are. Maybe one day, these stories will help us understand each other better, not only between this world and the next, but also within ourselves. We can learn to listen to the words inside and around us, making a world where both the living and the dead can find peace and comfort. We get to choose. Will we shut out the rumors and hold on to what we know? Maybe we should be brave and open our minds and hearts to the strange. Then we can step into the world where the veil is thin and the sounds of stories lead us. If this video left you spellbound, dive deeper into the world of chilling tales by joining our channel, Eerie Encounters and Hauntings. Access a treasure trove of bone-chilling stories waiting for you with new episodes 2 times a week. Spread the fear among your friends and family who crave a good scare and give them goosebumps. We'd love to hear your spine-tingling experiences as well, so don't hesitate to share them in the comments. You can also send us your story so we can feature it in one of our future episodes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay scared. Disclaimer. This video is for entertainment purposes only. The stories depicted in this video are shared by people who believe they are true, but they have not been verified. Any resemblance to real people or events is purely coincidental. The views and opinions expressed in this video are those of the people who shared the stories and do not necessarily reflect the views of YouTube, Google, or Facebook. The channel does not endorse the views expressed in this video. This video is not intended to be used as evidence of any supernatural or paranormal activity. If you are experiencing paranormal activity, please contact a qualified professional.